Welcome to the Dating with Katy Podcast, where today we're bringing in the new year. Here we are. I have a little sparkly hat on to match my sparkly top. Happy 2024 coming at you. And hey, if you're not all about the new year ringing it in, I got a different sparkly hat. It says pop the champagne, right? Pop the bubbly. And if that's all you want to celebrate this year, I'm cool with it. But I want to give you some encouragement as we move into the new year. I can't believe that we've already been doing this for almost a year and a half. We've got over 75 podcasts. I've got over 70,000 listens. So that means there are other 20%ers out there. And if you know anything of what I teach and what I truly believe, that out of the 100% of people out there single and dating, not everybody is dateable, right? We call them the 20%ers. And just the fact that you're listening to this podcast today tells me that you are one of them. So, and there was 70,000 listeners who were doing it as well. So whether you're grabbing a glass of champagne or you're ready to celebrate the new year, I am so excited. I hope that you have already subscribed, and I really hope that you send this to friends. Like, I get on calls during the week while I'm matchmaking, and I get DMs of like, Katy, I sent this to some friends. I just love your practical advice. You guys know that I want to get you confident, make you successful, and let you have some fun dating. So, and you guys know that it worked for me. I mean, ultimately, a lot of you, the 20%ers, you're looking for a long-term relationship, whether that means marriage, whether that just means cohabitation, whatever that is for you, you're looking for quality. You know, I always say my 20%ers, they're cool. They're just really interesting people. They're quality. They've got deep, rooted beliefs in themselves and in others, and they are looking for an LTR, long-term relationship. Well, make sure you send this to a friend. Pop this in your stories too. Like, I always love it when someone gives me a little shout out on IG. They put it in there like, thanks Dating with Katy for this podcast. Tell me your favorite one. And I've been doing the 12 days of Christmas, which has been the countdown of the favorites. Well, I'm not going to share that with you today, but I am going to share with you why I believe you deserve love in 2024. And I'm going to reference, as a matter of fact, I'll show you my paper. I've got this paper all written up in my notes, and everything highlighted is a podcast that highlights what that really entails. And you guys know my podcasts are 15 minutes long? So short. So 15 minutes is 1% of your day. So make sure you go take a listen. Go do a little 2023 binging so that you're ready for 2024. Take out a notebook, write it pen to paper. They say that, the neural pathways, I talk about this in the manifesting one, but the neural pathways change when you start to write it pen to paper. And you see it and you can reread it. So get a little notebook. Do what you got to do. And just thanks for listening. All right, so let's get started because this is kind of intense today. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's been a year. And, take it or leave it, guys. Whether it's been a great year dating or whether you haven't even been dating or you're getting back into dating or you just broke up, I'm with you. The number one thing I want you to know is that I so appreciate you guys as my listeners, as followers, as people who are encouraging me back, saying like, Katy, I've changed because of this. And that is, so important because I was opening my emails the other day and I follow Man on Fire, which I think is a great thing for men. Our church group is something like that as well, my husband's church group. And it's just a group of men who are taking accountability. The guy who started Man on Fire says that if you're the captain of the ship and the ship's sinking, well, that's kind of on you. But it caught my eye, the title for this email was the number one reason that you fail at anything. So I was like, well, I got to open this, right? I don't want to fail. I don't want my followers to fail in dating. And he said it's the lack of growth. And if you're already listening to this podcast, that is not you. So I'm proud of you. Again, you followers are dear to my heart. I actually pray for you. I want to see over 100 relationships curated just from Dating with Katy. And, matchmaking is something I do, and I'm literally curating fantastic dates, vetting people for you. If that's something you're interested, click the work with me button. But not everybody can afford the matchmaking, but I still believe it for all of you online. I mean, my podcast 11 through 25 are all about online dating. That was like in the beginning, I wanted you to understand that online dating is a great way. It's just exhausting. So if you don't want to be doing that either, I also have my Wing Girl program. But I am praying for you that you would find your heart's desire. The Bible says, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desire of your heart. And that's really precious to me. We don't always want to be honest about what's the desire of our heart. I see a lot of people kind of waffling on like, well, maybe I want to get married, maybe I don't. Well, really ask yourself, do you? And it's okay if you do, and it's okay if you don't. But, I don't really want to have kids. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Well, you got to tune into your heart's desire and really understand that. And one of the episodes I'd encourage you to listen to is episode 48. It's 5 biblical principles that are good for everybody who's dating. And I've been seeing a lot of this on Instagram. A lot of the people who aren't per se Christians or whatnot, they're pushing ideas that are actually from the Bible. So they're not giving any credit to where the credit is due, and that's to God. That's a relationship in Jesus. But I would encourage you to listen to episode 48. If you're an old school standards kind of person, which is what I promote, you're going to love that because it's those old school standards with the new school style, which is what I always say as well. All right, well, let's get started. Now this, I'm grouped into 3 little sections. One is for all my listeners, one is for you ladies, and then one is for you guys. And why you deserve love in 2024, because you are doing these things. All right, well, one of the things I've just recently spoken about, it's your standards list. So you've gotten rid of your preference list. You have realized if she's a little, thicker in the waist, it's okay. If he's a little bald, because men bald as they age, it's okay. You've gotten rid of what your preferences are. And instead, you created the one list that I think you need. And that list is your standards list, all right? So it's not expectations, it's not preferences, it's your standards. Go listen to that. It was just 2 episodes ago, episode 75. I did a whole YouTube video on how to create that list. I'm actually going to go deeper into core values and things like that so that you can really create not just dates, but relationships. And then I always tell that to my clients. I can put you on dates all day, but I want you to have a relationship with the right person. So I'm going to be exploring that more next year in 2024. And then you also deserve love because you've done the work, okay? You guys, you've listened to the right podcasts. You're saying the right things. I had a girlfriend, she used to say, F my life, and just go on and complain and complain. And I thought, girl, that's why your life is effed, right? Because you keep talking about it. You hear about the women who are like, oh, all the men are just douchebags. You hear about the men saying all the women are crazy. Well, that's why you keep getting it, because you keep talking about it. You keep saying it to yourself, saying it out loud, saying it to other people. And instead, you need to tune that out, and you've started listening to the right podcasts, listening to positive things about, men and women and dating. And so I love that about you guys. You are doing the work. You also, and this is really important, this is my podcast number 2 on the 4 foundations. You have those 4 foundations in your life. You are spiritually strong. You are built on a rock. You're not on the sand, so you're not crazy emotional over this. You have mental fortitude in dating because you're going to need it, because people are flaky, people ghost, people are not dating like adults. So you need that mental fortitude to not get discouraged, right? You are also financially and physically fit. So go listen to that podcast number 2. It was that important. I always want to go back and refer, like, have you listened to my 4 foundations? Are you actually really ready to date? So go listen to that one as well. And then you realize that you're better together. You realize that it's great being single sometimes. And, I can do life. I don't need no man, and I can do this myself. I'm happy. And that is truly important, that you need to be happy in yourself and without somebody. But you also can recognize the fact that, I enjoy being with the right person. I enjoy giving and being a part of something bigger than just myself. So that podcast, I'd encourage you to go listen to my 5 C's of a great relationship. And again, although I'm a dating coach, I want to see you moving into great relationships. And one of those C's is chemistry. And I debunk why chemistry is junk, okay? Because a lot of you are like, well, Katy, I went on a first date. There was no chemistry. Okay, well, keep going on a date. Were they a good person? Did they meet the standards that you had? And even one of our matchmakers, her current husband, she has 4 babies with them, 2 sets of twins. Their first date was not a wow. He didn't wow her. He wasn't Mr. Fancy Pants. There wasn't chemistry, but look at them now. They're fantastic. And she said, I went on a second date because I knew he was a good guy, not the nice guy, but the good guy. So you want to go take a listen to that. That's episode 31 and 32. And remember, no chemistry. We don't need lighter fluid on a flame. What we need is a spark and a slow burn, baby. All right, well, ladies, I'm going to focus on you right now. And this is why you deserve love in 2024, because you've been doing these things. You've been focused on yourself, and you realize you're not looking for attention. You're looking for affection from a man. And I haven't done a podcast per se on this, but I really think I'm reading a book, and I think it's great the idea of attention, men who give you attention just want sex with you. And you all know that. We've all had the guy that was just so into us right away. He just wanted the booty call. But a man who gives you affection, that's different. And that's when I talk about in episode 5, 4 things to look for in a man. How do you know that? Is by his effort. Ladies, a man who is willing to give you affection will be putting in the effort. And I want to say this again, to be fair to these guys who are putting in the effort, you need to mirror that, ladies. And if you're not mirroring that, then you're not that into him and you need to release him so he can go find the right woman. All right? So that's really important. And then episode number 6 was the 3 kinds of men. You're understanding that you don't necessarily want the guy with the big personality, right? You want the guy who has character. And I read another book called Quiet, and we used to be a culture of character. And that's the things that we looked for. And now we're a culture of personality, right? And I talk about the 3 kinds of alpha male in episode 6, I'm sorry. And I talk about how there's, the beta males, the alpha assholes, and then the alpha awesomes. And how oftentimes you think the alpha awesome is actually a beta. He might be quieter. He's not Mr. Gregarious. You don't know how successful he is because he doesn't need to show it off. That is the man you want. That is the man who will give you the affection. He will cherish you. Men want to make you happy. The right men, the good guy, not the nice guy. Remember, the nice guy is a simp. You can walk all over him. Ladies, you've done it. You know what kind of man I'm talking about. That's not the man that I'm wanting for you. You want the good man who listens to these podcasts. I'm going to talk about him in a second, okay? So ladies, you're going to make sure that actions are speaking louder than his words, right? You are going to see that effort, and you're going to want to listen to podcasts. Just do a quick binge on 5, 6, and 7. Ladies, go do that for me if you have not done that. And then make sure you listen to episode 43 also. And this is why women are messing up their dating lives. Go take a listen at that, see if any of those are you, and fix it. Just change it. I give great advice on how to do that. And lastly, then I want you to go listen to episode 68. Where are all the good men at? And so they're out there, ladies. Make sure your picker is on. After you listen to 5, 6, 7, 43, and 68, you will be ready to go. Ladies, another thing that you are going to be doing because you are ready for a man in 2024 is that you are going to be the 3 things that I believe all men are looking for. And that is someone who's fit, she's fun, and she's feminine. And fit means healthy. You take good care of yourself. You eat well. You exercise. And I just want to remind you that fit looks different on every body shape. So just do your part in looking fit. It does not mean you have to look like me. It just means that you are making healthy choices. Because when there's a healthy choice made for yourself, it means you value you and people will honor that and notice that. And then fun means you're not bitter. You've gotten rid of that anger from the ex, from what other people have done to you. You're not upset with the world. Again, my girlfriend was, the F my life. She has really cleaned up her life. She has literally made space. She has cleared out her house. She has garage saled everything. She is donating. She has realized she needs to make space for the right guy. And this is what I hear from men all the time. An ex-client of mine said this recently to me. He said, Katy, some of these women want to meet their partner, but they don't really want to disrupt their current lifestyle. And I understand you ladies are like, well, Katy, I can't depend on a man, so I can't really give everything up. But he needs to earn your trust, and you need to slowly give him more of your time. Everything is figure-outable. I think Marie Forleo says that. I think she's right. A good man will help you figure it out. He will make space and carve space into his life to help you in those ways as well. But then I also got this from a girlfriend of mine who was actually out with the former client of mine. And I said to her in a text, I said, hey, this is a great guy, but he's going to expect time from you. And I know you're really busy running your business, but if you don't make space for him, he will pass you. And she says, Katy, for the right man, I'm making myself 100% available. For those 20%ers, I'm ready. And she's really changed and grown a lot too. So ladies, you need to be more open. And guys, you need to kind of usher in the way that she can be provided for and cared about if she is to give up her time and her space and her money and things like that. So guys, let's move on to you and why you deserve love in 2024. I really love my clients. I only have been taking on men recently because ladies, you can be very difficult. But what I love about my guy clients is that they're really hungry to find a good woman. They literally are. So they do these things. And so I'm going to share with you And ladies, I want you to be encouraged because there are plenty of guys doing these things. Number one, they're working on their EQ. Now, this EQ thing is a new phenomenon. Most men went to business school. They've been in business. Nobody talks about EQ in business, but these guys can talk about EBITDA all day long. So let's give these guys a little space to grow in their EQ. And guys, for that, you want episode 35. And then episode 36 talks about your DQ, which ladies, you should go do this too. It's my little quotient on how to assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. What are you? You might think you're an 8.5. You might really be a 6. And so it's actually about, are you trying to date somebody outside of your league, right? So go give that a listen. I do find that men tend to think they can get 10s often. And, you don't always want the 10. She's probably a little bit high maintenance. So go check out your numbers, see what you think of my DQ. All right, the other thing I love about these guys and men that are going to find a woman in 2024, they are dating with intention, okay? They know that they want an LTR. They know that they want to go look for it. They understand that they need to be the man with the plan. And so they're going to listen to episode 45, which is 5 text messages every woman wants to hear. Hello, I'm helping you out. Ladies are clapping in the background. And then they're also listening to episode 49 is why men are pansies at dating. Guys, go check this out. Are you doing these mistakes? And then they're going to go right to the next podcast, episode 50, the 12 qualities of the good guy. I think that is my most listened to podcast, which excites me because we're getting the word out of quality, character, behavior, and the things that women are looking for and what men are really aspiring to be, at least our 20%ers are. All right, now next, this is maybe a little shallow, guys, but if you're a 20%er and if you're looking for love in 2024, you've got to do this. You've got to get better picks. I cannot say this enough. Episode 13, I help you exactly. There's also episode 61, Style Yourself Confident. Listen to those two together. Go get a little photo date, find a friend, find a buddy, find a wife of one of your buddies, and she will do it for you. Guys, I can't stress this enough. As a matter of fact, my client who I'd taken pictures of years ago, fabulous pictures. He's in front of his art. He's holding his arms right. I got a good picture with him and his dog, all selling points. He is currently on Bumble. He did date someone that I had set him up with, but they're now broken up. He's on Bumble. And my girlfriend who saw him on Bumble said, Katy, he wasn't using the pictures that you used when you presented his bio. And she said to me, and these were her words, I just thought he looked like a nice guy. I didn't think he really looked that handsome, but I've seen the photos you took and he looks really handsome. So there's a difference between having photos and having handsome photos. So we want you to have handsome photos, you guys. So go listen to those podcasts, be encouraged. Photos are game changers, and you know that to be true because you know women with bad photos you're always snarking at too. So go listen to those podcasts. And then here are my last 2 suggestions, and these are for everybody. I want you to go back and listen to my podcast from 1 year ago, and this was right after Christmas. This is episode 39, 5 of my best tips for goals in dating. And I'm curious, I need to re-listen to it just to hear what I had to say, but go listen to that. And I mean, I am a matchmaker. I'm not just some dating coach. I put hundreds of people on dates per year, and I get feedback and I hear both sides. And you know, I'm always talking about both sides on this podcast. So go listen to episode 39. And then lastly, listen to my number 1 secret on finding somebody amazing. And that is episode 57. You guys, there is a plethora of information out there from Dating with Katy. You know I'm on your team, and I want you to be confident, get successful, and have some fun dating in 2024. Until then, you guys, cheers to great dating.